Hey everyone, welcome back to Ask a Muso, sponsored by Jim's Cleaning, Bottom South. I've got someone very exciting at the other end of the line today. Down in Victoria, I've got a mate who needs no introduction, but I'll let him do it himself. I think I should say good morning to you. Is that appropriate? So Mikey D, take it away and tell everyone a bit about yourself.
I just am flabbergasted at the introduction. That's so nice. Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me. I struggle with the introductions of podcasts. I always get asked, what do you do? And I never have a title for what I do because I do a lot of little things that culminate into creating things is probably the best title I can give myself, my man.
Content creation is great, and musical content creation of, even if I was to push you into niche, comedic musical content creation. For those who know Tom Cardy, you are going to be right up there, Ali. Maybe go from there. What sort of started with the reels and sort of boosting this musical content? Was it as a result of being stuck at home and the obvious situation we're in, or was it you just wanted to try something different, or what's the story?
Do you want to know when I started music or when I started the reels specifically?
Take me back to the start.
Oh, holy dooly. It was year 12 and my friend Connor was a DJ and he wanted to make Melbourne bounce music mixes for SoundCloud, sorry. And he said, I need a software to do this on. And me being the little illegal mastermind that I was back in year 12, I'm just about to incriminate myself.
This is all satire and performance. None of this is fact.
Thank you. I acquired, by some means, Logic Pro X, and I gave him a copy, and I had the copy on my laptop, some weird Russian bootleg of it, and so he started doing the mixes. Life was great. I was his self-titled manager in year 12 because I had nothing else better to do. I wasn't studying, and then I liked Melbourne bounce and all those kind of like doof music types, so I started trying to create my own, and nothing sounded good, but I'd always wanted to make some sort of music because I was pretty nifty at video making at that time. But yeah, so I started doing that and it sucked. It was awful music, absolute trash. What are you going to do? You know, you just start out making music, nothing's going to be good. But yeah, so I kept cracking at it and I left it, and then a friend gave me Ableton years later. Another questionable copy of Ableton. And I just kept cracking into Ableton for years trying to make this Melbourne bounce thing happen. And I was so bad at it. And then finally, Flume released all these stems for like his early day Flume stuff. Like the greatest, like Holding On Top. And then my favorite, like Flume's first album, his self-titled album, is my favorite thing in the world. And so to have those stems on my computer and I could hear the vocals, the bass, the drums, and just properly like go through and analyze everything there was like, what a cool time we live in that we can have that. Like you wouldn't be able to get that in the old days, like go through and get what the Bee Gees were using in their samples and like their studio template. You wouldn't get that. So I just started mucking around with that. And I think that's when my music got better, I guess. And I just started creating most days and stopped making videos and started making music. And then skip ahead, I released a song. There was a rap song. I had no business making rap, mind you. Like, who's this ethnic kid from the burbs of Victoria trying to make a rap song? I was with my friend Corey, who's this like 40-year-old psychologist, great guy, talented lyricist. And I released that as my first thing. And then I just been making music ever since, and I've wanted to make content as well. So I started making, in our last Victoria lockdown, we've had like 40 at this stage. I started making like sketches on YouTube. To answer your question, this is taking way too long. I ordered this thing on Amazon one night, late in the lockdown. I got this, it's called a melodica. This is the noise it makes. Gorgeous instrument.
Beautiful. I'm glad it's only taken 5 minutes and it's already made an appearance. My dad is hooked on the Bunnings Warehouse one for the sole reason of the melodica into the drop at the end. So I'm glad it made an appearance. He'll be happy.
Shout out to your dad. Papa Bailey. Yeah, so I bought that on a whim and a wish one night. It was like 12 a.m. in the morning and I saw that on Amazon. I was like, Yeah, I'm buying a melodica for $25, and it came. And the first video you'll see on my Instagram is just me recording myself playing the melodica and making a song. And I uploaded. I said good morning at the start of it because it was the crack of dawn in the morning, 9 a.m. And I just started making this song, and I uploaded it, and it got like 2,000 views. And I don't normally get many views. I had a couple things on TikTok do well, but this was just immediate. Like, people responded. They messaged me, man, that song was so catchy. That was so fun. Make more on the melodica. And then I thought, oh, this is kind of my worlds aligning of like, I've wanted to make content for so long, and I love making music, but I only make music for myself. I put music on Spotify, but so I can listen to it, but not for others. And then the world's just aligned of, oh, sick. I can make videos and I can make music and put that to the people. And then that just spiraled into like, I found Tom Cardy and Auntie Donna I've been a fan of for so many years, and they make musical songs as well that are comedic, and Lonely Island is another inspiration, Bo Burnham, all these guys. And I just kept creating and slowly started doing the comedic stuff with it after, like, I stopped doing covers. And now I'm kind of just doing that a lot of the time because it just lets me flex the musical muscle.
Yeah. And I think there's something about when it's like 3 minutes, like, man, 3 minutes or 4 minutes, I'm going to put in 125% into this. Like, oh, that break is rubbish. That chorus needs to go. That needs to be extended. When it's 30 seconds, you go, I just did a minute of something. What's my best bit? Or let's try and compile 15 musical ideas into 30 seconds. I've noticed that just with reels, just posting drum reels and things like that. I just pick the 30 seconds I like the best. And I don't know, I feel like you get the best out of yourself. And you can't untrain the fact that people have short attention spans. You can't, you can go, geez, it sucks that everyone's lazy. And unless you spoon feed them the link, they're not going to do anything about it. But the fact of the matter is, that's just the way it is. Like, people are inherently lazy nowadays. So if you spoon feed them something that's a short snippet of brilliance, like, it just works.
Vine ruined the world with attention spans, man. And even movies these days, you'll find that it's formulaic, right? Of how they're structured. It's all exciting for the entire hour and a half. And yeah, it's really hard to keep up with people's attention spans. Mine's shorter. Like, I still make sure I sit down and read books and stuff just to train my attention span. But yeah, ultimately, it's all shorter. And yeah, so you've got to squeeze into 30 seconds, and it's a gift and a curse. Like, exactly what you're saying is so spot on. With your 3 to 4 minute song, you've got to tightly mix and master this thing, and you want it to be your baby and craft it so that it's just something gorgeous. But with 30 seconds, I'm finding I can not only play and experiment with different genres, but it doesn't have to be polished. It just has to be vibrant. I imagine I'm making videos for crows. Like, crows love shiny things. And so if my video can be shiny in the in whatever feed you're scrolling through, if it can be kind of shiny and exciting to look at straight out the gate, like there's someone dancing and there's someone like, hey friend, how are you? It gives this exciting energy. And so you want to stay with that. And yeah, exactly what you're saying. It's a gift and a curse though, because trying to squeeze a whole song, a concept into 30 seconds, comedically, musically, you know, you've only got so many bars to work with there, depending on what BPM you're using. A lot of the time I'm working like 120 to 130, which is even shorter. I've got to find a way to finish the song without it getting cut off, but have a full resolution. And you want a song to have an intro, and the instrumental will have a second to shine.
And the story.
The
story element that you bring is such a big ticket item to get people hooked. Like, because the story, you've only got like 10 seconds or whatever they play on the stories. And that's where that blessing and a cursing, you've managed to get the story in there, and people are loving it. And I loved that. Like, I think I when I was looking for sort of local things that were fun and exciting and things ages ago, when it was, you know, you could go outside and go on airplanes and all those funky things, so you didn't need to have your phone optimizing all of your time. I found different people and all that, and then I found you again when you were Mark Zuckerberg in Ruben's video, and then you just started to just zig and zag with all these ideas.
I put myself in this pressure cooker, and it's so crazy that you've seen my stuff from then with Ruben. That's so quick digression. I promise I'll be quick. Ruben was a friend of mine. I worked with him at Bounce, a trampoline park. when we were both like 15, 16, and we both just weirdly went onto this like creative paths, and we're still in touch. He's a great guy. He's so talented. But yeah, to roll back in, what was your question?
My question was, when you sort of I don't know, got into these reels and things like that and doing this comedic content creation, like, did you go, okay, here's 5, let's do one every couple of days, and you'd already sort of got them in the bank? Or were you going, 2,000 views first day, I suppose I've got to do this again?
It was the latter, for sure. That was such a throwaway video, man. It was, I put my phone up here on my old little setup, and I just recorded myself. I was downstairs, actually, with the first song I ever made that went like, dun, 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 dun. I was downstairs in my parents' room, and I just started playing that. And my stepdad went, you've had that in your head to play on that, surely. And I said, nah, I just thought of that melody then. And he's like, that's sick. And I was like, okay, that was all the affirmation I needed. And I ran upstairs, recorded it, edited it, that day put it out, thought nothing of it, and then it did well. And I thought then and there, yeah, I've got to do this. I've got to make these videos because people are responding, and I was lapsing on doing YouTube content. And so I thought, well, this is it. I love making music, and I'll just make music and do covers. It was so easy. Like the next one, I was like, in my head straight away, I'll play Sandstorm. That's hilarious. Let's play Sandstorm. And then I thought, what other catchy melodies are there in pop songs? I'll just keep doing that for a while. And then when that got boring, I thought, well, I like doing comedy. So, I think I did one with my ukulele, and it was about people that don't use indicators at the roundabout. Because someone didn't use one in front of me. And I was like, that's made me annoyed. So I put it in my notes, went home, recorded it, put it out. And then I was like, well, I like singing now. And I like doing little raps or whatever. So I'll just keep doing more of that. So I started doing less covers and more comedy. And then I just kind of fell into this style that's similar stylistically to Auntie Donna, which they adore those dudes. And now everyone on TikTok will tell me, I'm getting hundreds of comments of, oh, this is like Auntie Donna, you're Auntie Donna, Auntie Donna. Which is a great compliment, mind you.
That's very humbling, yeah.
Normally I'm super methodical, by the way. This isn't like a nice humble, none of it was planned, I fell into it. Everything I do normally is so methodically planned, and I'll be trying to backlog content for weeks, and I'll be planning this and that and this and that. But me saying good morning in the video and then making a good morning t-shirt, none of it was planned. It was 9 a.m. in the morning or 10 a.m. and I said good morning to the camera, and then I just started recording and doing the song. And I made the entire song live, which I never did again, by the way. The rest of it I just produced prior and then played the instruments, which is an absolute hack, and I'm ruining the magic.
We have the magic of post to cut that out for all your fans.
Yeah, at first it was literally just live creation, but then there's only so many hours in the day, and it was hard because I'm playing this loud instrument, and at night I had to try and play it quietly because I just had all these brainwaves of songs. As soon as I did that first video, I was like, oh, I'll make another and another. And so I just started making music all the time with this little instrument, but I couldn't record it, 11 o'clock at night while everyone's sleeping. So I'd make the song and with my headphones on, and then the next day I'd come and record it. But everything is still produced and made right here in the studio. There's no outside assistant. A lot of people think I've got like a ghost producer or a ghost mixer or a masterer, which just sounds wildly inefficient. And why would I spend so much money on all this gear?
And then outsource someone else to do it and pay them too when you're making nothing from it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I have to ask, sort of, where is your goal? Like, what do you want to end up with here? Is this something you want to pursue? Like, you're doing your DJing and stuff like that, and then you got this content creation thing. Like, what's the goal for Mikey? What if all the planets align and all the goalposts line up?
Jeez, my very well talented interviewing friend Bailey. I don't know. 2 years ago, I think it was, I was a radio presenter in Melbourne, like Triple M and Joy. And then I was a youth worker and a DJ. I was doing all these things, and then I quit all that to go entertain on a cruise ship in Miami. And I did that for 4 months, and then COVID hit. But my plan was to travel America, travel Europe, and then come back home, and I was going to be a radio host again. And I was going to apply for regional shows in Australia, and that was going to be me. And that was the plan. And then I got home to Melbourne after COVID, and that was kind of a kick in the nuts. You know, wasn't finished with my cruise ship contract. I hadn't been able to travel America yet. So that sucked, but I thought, all right, this lockdown, you know, none of us thought this would last as long as it has. I locked down for, you know, the longevity of it all, and the radio industry just went, pfft. They started laying off people left, right, and center, and all the opportunities became so scarce. At one point in there, I was about to move to Port Augusta, a really small town population in I think it's in South Australia. I think it's like a little coastally town thing that high crime rates, 50-degree weather in summer. Thank God I didn't do that. But yeah, I kept teetering with the idea of radio, but I had nothing to do in lockdown. I had no work. So I started making videos. And now I'm just kind of doing videos because I really love it. And I'm realizing that the visual medium is probably more preferred to me than the auditory. And like every Australian kid, I've grown up watching Hamish and Andy, and I love that they've gone from the auditory medium to creating this insane visual content with like Hamish and Andy Gap Year. And they've done this brilliant and positive stuff, mind you. Just two positive blokes that are great role models of just being goofy and fun and still being able to play as adults. And I love that. So to answer your question of what I want to do, I guess something in that route of I want to be able to create, and I want to, like, I'd love to be on postcards one day. I think that'd be hilarious to be able to like tour around the world and present to camera. I've always been presenting, but just ultimately create content that lets people be seen, is funny, but then also like I'll throw in videos that barely get views, but with a positive message. Like I love just telling people, hey, you are so worthwhile in this world, and whatever you bring, even if it's just getting up that day and go and eat cereal, that's still something that you're bringing to this world, and that's awesome because only you can do that. I love doing that stuff. So if I can somehow get paid for all of that and just kind of be a positive beacon, hate the word beacon, scratch that, be a positive dude.
Whoa, that was a much bigger improvement. You didn't say journey either, so you're already in my good books.
I'm on a creative artistic journey, brother. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to create and have fun with it, present. I want to try and get back into youth working again. I've missed that. Whatever that leads me to, I've really got no end goal with this. I just want to create and not be 40 one day with a wife and kids and hate my job and hate the life I've built, because then I can't escape. So if I can right now do everything in my power to give myself the opportunity, just the opportunity to be in a room with someone that might give me a job to do this paid, and I can just love my life and create every day, that's where I want to be, in whatever capacity that is. The goalposts keep changing, and I can never give you the concrete set because I don't know what they look like. But as long as they change in my favor and I'm still kicking at the goalposts that I look at lovingly, then that's me happy.
100%. And I feel like in the most sincere sense, that positivity and that idea of personal growth for other people that you want to do as a job or as content or as fun, however you want to talk about it, that is the epitomization of what the world needs at the moment. And I couldn't mean that more sincerely. That is everything we need currently, is someone that actively wants to put a smile on someone else's face for the purpose of comedic humor or music, because we know all music and puppies and laughter, they're all the things that the real immune system boosters. That's everything that you sort of embody with your content, and that's everything people need. That's everything we want and need at the moment, and it's so easy and it's so accessible. And I think that's such an attractive trait to the whole thing.
I think that's all I can offer. I don't think I can offer anything more intelligent or political.
That's fine, because there's a bunch of people who aren't intelligent but are extremely political doing all that job for you.
But yeah, thanks, man. You're a freaking lovely fella. And the one thing I hate about doing interviews is I hate talking about myself for so long. And I know that's the whole point of it. And I'd love to know what you do. I know that's not the point of this interview, but I just really appreciate that, because that's it's exactly what I'm trying to do, and I hope that my platform spreads so that I can do more of that. Because the comments I receive sometimes from people, like I did one a couple days ago that was like, "You're worth it," and the melody's like, "You're worth it, you're perfect, you're feeling yourself," and like some people just commented saying or messaged me saying, like, "Thank you, I really need this. It's been a hard-ass week for me, and I really believe when you say that." And that's like the tear-jerking moments of, like when someone tags their friend and says you'll like this, great, and I appreciate that. But when someone has been impacted by just a goofy thing that I cooked up in my mum's rumpus room, that's insane, and that will always be insane. And I hope it's forever insane to me that someone can have a genuine evocation. I don't know if that's a word.
I like it. I love your moxie. That's great.
Let's not bring out the dictionary. But I just hope that, I hope that happens some more, and I hope people just are seen and feel self-reflection or whatever the video brings. So I'll just keep going, baby, for you. Even if it's just for you, Bailey, I'll just keep on going.
That's good enough for me, because that does the job for me, because I would much appreciate that. Now, I got to ask, as we finish, where can they find you? Where can people who have not seen the brilliant Mikey D comedy find the darn stuff and start consuming it? They got stuff to catch up on.
Sheesh. You can get me on Instagram at Mikey D Gram, and then TikTok's Mikey D Official, because Mikey D was taken, and I thought, well, I'm going to one-up Mikey D, whoever's that guy out there, and I'm going to put official at the end to make myself look more legit. Hasn't worked so far, but I'm going to win that battle. And then on YouTube, it's Mikey D. So I'm pretty consistent across these brands, my friend.
I'm going to put up a text thing, and as we referred to earlier, people are lazy. I'll be putting up your handles for your talk and for the gram. And is there any final thoughts you want to leave everyone with?
Well, I'm just excited to make music with you soon when I get my head out of my butt. Because you're a very talented drummer. I've listened to your stuff, and I'm very excited to have actual drums that's not just a 4 to the floor beat with a hat in between, because that's all I can muster. So that'd be great. But I mean, I'll look deadpan into the camera. Do whatever you want to do, and don't let anyone stop you doing that. And even if someone says you suck at it, give yourself 3 years to actually see if you suck at something, because you might actually be really good at it. I never thought I'd be able to make music. I was actually quite tone deaf. And now look at me. I get a couple of views on Instagram, baby. But yeah, just do what you want to do. That's it. That's all I can say. Just do something that makes you happy. Otherwise, you'll live with regret. And then when you're 40 or 70, you're going to wake up one day and go, oh no, I've just wasted the most precious thing in the world, and that's time. And I can't get that back. So do good things. Do it now. And be good. Kiss your friends on the lips. Or don't. Be consensual about it. Cut that out.
That will come up probably on the Instagram preview, and everyone's going to be like, wow, that's really funny. Go to the episode and go, oh, he never said it at the end. Yeah, that one's just for Baylos, that one. But beautiful. Thank you for joining me, Mikey. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm very excited for anything we can cook up together very soon, because it'd be rude not to, and I don't like being rude. I'll make sure I share far and wide all the goodness that comes with the Mikey D Gram and the little shorts you're doing and all that content creation, which is just, as I said before, an absolute bundle of positivity, which is everything the world needs at the minute. And how nice to have someone homegrown that's kicking goals.
My man, onwards and upwards with the podcast. I'm proud of you. You're a great interviewer. And that's coming from a guy that had a very Z-grade radio career. So you take that.
Oh, he said radio, so I'm a little frightened, but he commented on my SM7B before we started. So I know I'm in his good books.
Mate, you're a good bloke. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that is another week in the can of the Ask a Muso podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to have Mikey on the other end of the line. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, because that's the only place you're going to find these eps. And every Tuesday they're coming out, and you don't want to miss these next ones coming up. Season 2 is going to be an absolute cracker. So get onto the YouTube, and until then, I'll see you next week.